Welcome back to another video, you guys. Thank you for coming back yet again. In today's video, we have no other than Debbie Ryan and Josh Dunn from 21 Pilots.
I'm Debbie Ryan from The Sweet Life on Deck, and you are watching Disney Channel.
Without further ado, hit that subscribe button and let's jump right into it.
Oh, Josh, it's for you.
Oh, hi, AD. Welcome to Columbus, Ohio. This is our names. This is Debbie's handwriting.
That's Josh's handwriting. We got married in like 3 weeks. And so for the wedding, one of the sort of choices that we made was
3 weeks, the trademark of love.
this neon sign. Done and done. This is Jim. The joke is that when I went away on set, Josh needed another thing to follow him around and ask for snacks.
Okay, off the bat, I was a little bit hesitant. I know some artists that just hire the interior designer and then you're done, but I really like the individuality choices. This is a cool rug. I know it may seem basic, but a rug does add a big difference. Also, I love these plants. They're real, they're not fake, and they say the more plants you have, the more clean the area is that you breathe, so off to a good start.
Attention.
Jim does just that. We did the very sort of American thing, having your dog be the ring bearer in your wedding. And so he's got the bow tie.
I think one of the things that you will notice as you explore the home is that we like things that look like other things. And it sort of was just a few playing with scale and surrealism, and then we've now acquired a lot of other things. So we have corn and we have cabbage that looks like flowers.
But it's not corn. It's actually a stool.
That's right. That's a good point. It's not corn. It's also bigger than corn would be. So the bookshelf, this is a place where I had stuff from my previous place. He had stuff, and it was a lot of like putting pieces together. A lot of our friends are authors or writers, and so their books are up here. My mom's book is up here. This is a Blockbuster card. This is from home.
Okay, off the bat, I love that the bookshelf is black. They could have gone with a standard wood bookshelf. It actually would have made a lot of sense to have this color down here on the bookshelf. But you know what? The black was an artistic choice. I love that they did it. Also, there's some sort of LED lighting that's going along here. All of it so far done very well.
Goods. This is from Mexico. All of these things, you know, sort of have a story. We have to show you this. So as we started getting into art, we realized that like a sweet flex when you buy an adult home is to have like a bust. His brother, Jordan, who's one of our best friends, his girlfriend is a really talented sculptor out of Germany. And we had the opportunity to commission a bust. And there was only one option for us. Mr. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
And he's kind of just a guiding light.
It's so interesting when you see two artists share a space. Like, there's so much creativity here. I know it's silly, but this bust, that's great. The rug, very cool. Even the choice to have simple flowers, like this is from the 1940s or something, as your curtain. It's a really cool and unique touch, and I think it differentiates it from a lot of homes.
A beacon of nobility. We love fresh herbs. I love to cook. We love beverages.
Wow, big white kitchen. This is like a lot of Pinterest mom's dreams right here. She's opening up a paneled in fridge and freezer. I'm sure these are both 36-inch counter depth, which is a big hunk of metal and a big wad of change. You can also see here she has, I think red is Wolf appliances, which is a very nice induction range, or no, gas range, with the hood and a pot filler. So far, this is a great house. It makes me wonder though, there's a lot of interior design elements. Is it interior design or is it builder grade? I'm kind of torn. I really think that there's a lot of high-end elements, and it would be a shame to call this builder grade.
These are secret fridges. Love a hidden fridge. That was an exciting part of the house.
Oh, yeah.
Can you get you something to drink?
How long do you think the assistant had to work on this fridge? I think this is a good 45 minutes.
There you go.
Right here is probably the area of the house that we spend maybe the most amount of time, to be honest. And when people are here,
Ooh, this is such an old-fashioned feature that I never see in houses anymore. People putting this like TV in the cabinets. The home I grew up in had one of these. It just makes me feel nostalgic. I think it's interesting. I don't know though. I think maybe this is a trend that should have been left back in the past.
conversations will carry on until 3, 4 in the morning.
These stools, we just wanted something to add some roundness, soften the shape. We wanted something sort of soft, cozy.
Okay, so it's a little hard to see right here. This is called a waterfall edge. They took this countertop and applied it to the side. Normally a countertop does what it sounds like. It just covers the counter. It costs more in every facet to do this, but it's actually very helpful.
Cozy, being that we did realize that we were just constantly spending so much time here. Here we are in, what do we call it?
The cathedral room, sometimes the sunroom. It's wild. It's actually 26-foot high ceilings. When we first moved here, I think the very first thing that Debbie wanted to do was to get our friend Dabs Mila to come out and mural this room. So we had a huge scaffolding. We were all up there. Debbie got into the brushes and I got some paint out and we were all up there kind of throwing paint on the wall.
And then this is lichen. It's the softest, you can't feel it, but this is lichen, which also exists in the moss on our mantle. So the mantles have reindeer moss. It's also local Ohio.
I think as long as
You know what? I love this little nook. It's nice because you obviously have these picture windows that shape the view. She did these custom cushions with the backsplash. 2 artists. This is like awesome. It's every kid's dream.
I've known Debbie, I've known that she loves the idea of a treehouse. So I actually proposed to Debbie in a treehouse in New Zealand. Yeah, and then we've got some of these coasters that Debbie's mom made after we got engaged.
What's great about this room is that it sort of is a place after dinner, after s'mores or whatever, we sort of can gather with friends. We've had people get tattoos in here. We've had people talk themselves back from panic attacks in here. This has been a really special, connective place. This is
a jungle.
main living area.
Okay, off the jump. These are sliders. This was a cost cut here because these could have been big opening or pocketing doors. Whatever, fine, I can live with it. I like the way they designed this room. The flow is really nice. It kind of just flows nicely. You can see they did kind of a stacked stone for the backsplash. You can see she has more of this moss. Is this like bug infestation? Is this like bug heaven? I won't dwell on it. Missing a guard. I don't know if this would pass inspection, but it looks cool. And then you see the rug from the other angle and their dining table. I love these candles. So far, so good.
We certainly had a vision, and we came across Fawn Galley's work, and she's based out of New York, and she introduced us pretty quickly to an associate of hers, Ashley Moyer, who actually lives 5 minutes from us here. And together, they really brought this vision to life. We had extra fabric from the curtains, and we were able to make these throw pillows and actually cover the piano bench as well, which is something I've had since I was a child. So it was kind of really meaningful because we like resourcefulness, but we also really like cohesion. Josh wanted a white couch.
I think really knowing you're an adult is understanding and accepting the responsibility to clean the white couch.
So I'm not yet.
Amen. I have a white couch and currently it's getting thrashed.
But
And I clean it. And there are paw prints and there are chocolate stains.
yeah, and if you look close enough, you could see Jim's spot and my spot. Mine's the chocolate stains.
This piece is done on wood, and it's kind of a sort of a gradient effect that looks like a portal.
And when we go to sort of our worlds and we have these...
This is a cool little area. I saw they had a mini fridge as well over here. They have a little area for your wine bottles, and then you have the black subway tiles. I like that they did the black subway tiles with black grout instead of doing it with white grout. If they would have done white grout, I feel like it would have been more modern farmhouse and less, I'm a trendy cool kid.
Little schmoozing things. This is sort of a rope ladder to our treehouse. We can sort of envision this, and it'll bring us through our portal home to our treehouse, to our friends, to our games, to our vintage furniture.
This is what we
Also, I love the pendant lighting, and it's nice that they have a window up here. It brings a little daylight in, and I'm sure this being a black wall, it gets a little dark in this corner.
call the game room. In reality, there's kind of games all over the house. This is sort of the dedicated zone for board games, which I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm not a fan of.
He does not like games. At night, you could catch me playing Connect 4 with myself. But he won't play.
I think when we moved in, this space we had no idea. And
What a space! I thought he was a guitar player. I didn't think he was a boxer. It's pretty cool. I haven't seen a boxing ring in a house. This is actually a good use of the space. Maybe it's a little tight in this walkway, but fine. Also, I see there's a bar over here. I think it's nice that they have the like director's chairs, cool touch. All of his platinum records, pretty awesome. And then I see kind of a studio space and maybe a movie theater. Let's see.
so we kind of came up with this idea to put a boxing ring.
No, Josh came up with the idea to put a boxing ring. He goes, what if we put a boxing ring in the basement? And I was like, what if we put a boxing ring in the basement?
Now that it's here,
It's so interesting in this new era. All the basements are above ground. Where I come from, basement means subterranean, but this works for me. I like the use of the space.
and it's in, it feels like this is perfect.
This is an homage to some books and to two of our great accomplishments. I was my school mascot. I'm sure you're familiar with our work. This is the bathroom for all of it. It's clutch to take a shower, obviously, as this is the place where we're sweating and stuff. There's also another great piece of art. A fan painted it. We brought it home from tour.
Yeah, I was somewhere in Europe after a festival. It got handed to somebody and then handed to me, and I felt it was just too amazing to leave behind. And so I put it in my suitcase and trekked it along throughout the rest of the tour in Europe, and then put it on a plane, came back home, and it's lived with me ever since.
I was like,
And Debby,
Pretty cool bathroom. I like the wallpaper. I know I said it was tacky, but I can live with it. Also, I like the tile, and you see white grout. They had the option. I think it works in here, matches the countertop, kind of draws it in together. I also like that they did a circular mirror. Wasn't a rectangular mirror. Everything else in the space is rectangular. This being curved adds a lot.
Debby insisted that it got hung.
holy shit. These were gifts for our weddings. This is an aqua bag. I like it because I think the pattern looks like blood, and it's filled with water like sweat, and it's shaped like a tear.
I see a bowling ball.
This is our gym setup that we have here at the house. We wanted to create a space that has everything that we would need. We've got cardio, and also, man, this rowing machine, that'll work your whole body.
Yeah, this was already here.
Another local artist, Justin Withrow at the Lookout Supply.
And then work time.
Work time, our friend Glenn, who is our boxing trainer, kind of got us into boxing. He would wrap my hands, we'd throw the gloves on, the bell would ring, and then he'd just go, work time. So that's the gym. We love spending time in there.
And that's Glenn.
How's it going? Work time.
We were just talking about you.
All right.
All right, let's do it.
Such an interesting cut. They didn't always used to do this in the AD videos, but I'm kind of for it. It's a little bit of spice. Add a little bit of spice.
Let me add a little bit of spice to that.
While they're doing that, let me show you the dude cave. All right, so this is the dude cave. When we bought the house, it was called the man cave, and Josh was like, we call each other dude. We tattooed dude on each other and each other's handwriting. He's like, it's
I find it hard to believe they would leave the furniture from the past person. But that being said, this to me is like straight out of a country club in Palm Springs in the 1970s. But maybe that was the theme that they were going for here. This feels very dated, but this is the dude lounge. So maybe it's like the cool hip thing to do. That's kind of how I feel it sums it up.
for both of us, it's the dude cave. And subsequently, I do study scripts in here a lot more. These are some vintage pieces that I got that are great. This used to be an old chicken coop. Those were from the first place that I ever lived. This oil painting is a poker game gone wrong, which has never happened here. A lot of our friends don't drink for one reason or another. Yeah, we like to make a fun cocktail or mocktail, and I think their round is up. Time.
All right, switch.
Let's go, Debby. She's quick.
Yep. And roll.
They're doing a round. Why don't I show you the movie theater room?
The producers are like, listen, you're gonna get in the ring and then she's gonna get in the ring after you. It'll be a really good video. Just hop right in there, buddy.
I love movies.
That being said, the movie theater room, it's pretty nice. The reason I like it so much is the high ceilings and, oh, we're in Ohio, so they definitely have the space. It just gives me real movie theater vibes. This is cool. And all black popcorn machine, the attention to detail is impressive.
Debbie's in movies, and we've had some friends and family over and watched premieres of Debbie's movies in here, which is great. Because Debbie also produces, sometimes we get screeners, which basically means that people will send movies before they even come out. And so we can sit in here and watch them, and that's one of my favorite things to do. Time. Yeah, dude. Another thing that I really felt like I really wanted is a music studio in the house. And so we worked really hard on this, and I want to show you the space. In here is the control room.
After you, Jim.
Please, thank you, Jim. I think a thing that feels relatively...
Wow. Now, we've seen other artists on the channel. This is an impressive room, okay? You can see it has a full built-out desk. You can see some studio monitors here. And then you have the separated room for vocal recording. So what that does is it allows people to essentially mix, master, control the session here, and it gives the artist some separation. You know, when you're recording a major record, the recording has to be perfect. You can't hear your buddy in the other room clicking on the keyboard. It doesn't go like that. This space is gorgeous.
Important to me is to be able to actually have separation with recording an instrument, especially like the drums. Because if there's somebody sitting here, an engineer or producer, then they can really dial in the sounds without having to hear the drums blasted in their face. We kind of internally, jokingly named the studio the Boom Boom Room. It just was something that we found humorous, but then it turned into something that kind of made sense and we still laugh about. But we've since branded it, and we have a Boom Boom Room logo that lives on the gumball machine. It lives on the side of the studio desk. It lives in the drum room on the drums, and the Boom Boom Ring. Now, in here is, I gotta say, my favorite room. It's the drum room.
Wow. Aesthetically, this room is stunning. I think this is the artist from the other area of the house. This drum set looks like something out of the Flintstones. This thing is so cool. I love the rug. Honestly, I'm pretty impressed with their place. Everything in here had such attention to detail. I keep mentioning that they're artists, but it really shows here.
There's a lot of really cool things about this room. Number one is that there's a drum set in here. That's by far the coolest thing. But it's also got more Dabs Mila. Now, this is their design printed on stretch fabric. It's for acoustic purposes. Actually, every wall in here is fabric.
So, when he says it's for acoustic purposes, the fabric is not a hard surface. When sound hits a hard surface, it reverberates off. When it hits a fabric surface, it dissipates. So this being a fabric stretch, I'm sure massively helps.
It's so cool to come in and dim the lights, maybe close the shades and get into a space that is really inspiring and just play here for hours. The drums are made by a company called SJC Drums. I've been working with them for over a decade. And every tour and every album cycle, I call Mike, who's the owner. We sit on the phone for an hour, and then we send reference photos back and forth. For this one, I said, hey, I want a drum kit that just lives in the studio, but I want it to be very specific for this space. And as we began talking, I shared the story about how we got engaged in a treehouse. And so we said, what about a tree-themed drum kit? And then a couple details with these drums. One time, Debbie took me to her old high school, and I carved in a D and a J in the bench. And so I sent them that photo, and then they put some carvings in each drum. And then they also got...
How much do you think a custom drum kit costs? At this level, like, professional grade instruments, you know, you can get a piano, a Steinway piano, 50 grand, just like that. I think this is somewhere in that double digit zone. I'm sure this was at least $10,000. And obviously, if I'm wrong, correct me in the comments, but it just seems like such a work of art.
A little engraved Jim on the snare drum. These are director's chairs, and these actually do exist on movie sets. And I would know because I spend a lot of time sitting in a chair just like this when I come and visit Debbie. And a lot of time visiting the...
So instead of having a standard traditional bar stool in their little kitchenette in the basement, man, the fact they added a kitchenette here, that's really great. This helps the home's value. Obviously, they won't sell the place with all the art and stuff on the walls. That's you're gonna have to negotiate for. The director's chairs, I love. I think this is a great touch.
Snacks on set too.
When I booked this, which was my first like real big job, and it said my name, man, I was like, maybe I can do this. Like I can actually do this. And I think it really feels surreal and special. And so it's sort of a memory of not only like the project, but each one of these shows represents hundreds and hundreds of people, all with incredible skill sets and people who work really hard to make these projects happen and that you get really close to.
There's no argument when you're choosing which seat to sit in. That's her seat. Her name's on it, sewed into the fabric.
And you get close to their families, and so I like to keep them with me, especially when sort of building our future. So then kind of the final bit.
Ooh, tell me this is an ice bath. You can see they have a fire pit. This great property. Oh, and they have the wood from the floors here as an accent on the ceiling. Very nice.
Is Recovery Center. This is extremely Josh's jam.
Out here, we've kind of
Missed it. Steam room sauna, ice bath, recovery center. I love the new school names, that'll do.
turned into, we've got the gym, the boxing ring, the drums, and then, whether it's starting the day or ending the day in a sauna, getting another sweat.
A lot of times for me, that is my primary sweat.
But then the cold plunge. The cold plunge is set at 39 degrees, and it's amazing to both start and end your day on.
Up we go to the place where we rest.
Wow. Visually, very interesting with the texture choices. It just kind of pops. I think these two chairs were so necessary to bring a little lightness in this all dark room. Like this is either a dark olive gray or some sort of dark blue wall, but it's all the way around. It's not just one wall. This whole room is dark. Their bed frame is a sort of charcoal. I love these little can lights here. And what can I say? It's a very unique space. It's not for everybody, but it's kind of gorgeous.
This was our Christmas gift to one another.
When we moved here, we started drinking a lot more filtered water, so we got...
This is like the definition of like weird flex, like okay. I kind of like the idea. It's like nifty, like oh, right outside my bedroom there's a water tap. But your house was so beautiful, couldn't you have put like one of those $20,000 ones that do like the coffee that Ennis shows off? Like, I don't know. This, a little lame, but I'll live with it.
A filtered water dispenser right outside of our bedroom, and now we use it in the morning and night and all in between.
We have currently saved 517 plastic bottles so far.
We are amazing people. This is our room. It's also Velma's room.
Yeah.
She
Hey,
sleeps on the
buddy.
bed most of the
Didn't even notice there was a cat there. I thought that was a pillow.
time in here.
This wallpaper was one of the first things that we picked for the home. I like that it was like old school American style tattoo.
Gorgeous. This is a gorgeous wallpaper. All the choices here are such good choices.
I love that it said True Love Forever. I loved the idea of going full French style, having the drapes match the wallpaper. And yeah, again, like we wanted some new, some old. These were original. I think maybe we swamped the shade. And then the ceiling fan. It's very Ohio.
I think it's an Ohio thing. That was like maybe one of very few points of contention that we ever had designing this house.
But I lost that one and I'm glad. It's great for the sleep and yeah.
This is us. We were in Paris. Debbie was doing some Fashion Week. I was doing a festival in France. And a photographer that Debbie knows named Nicholas, he just kind of met up with us and we spent the day taking photos. And so we thought that one was so cool and so good. We wanted to print it, frame it, and put it in our house.
Between that and the like table and sitting area, if you stand right here, you can see exactly 4 nipples, which is
Okay.
nice. It's
That's
nice
true.
to see that at the last thing before you go to bed.
I was recording and we were in a studio where a guy pulled out his phone and he changed the lighting in the studio. And I was like, how did you do that? And he got me on to just kind of like customization of a mood. And so now I've got a lot of the house really set on timers that dim lights and change colors of lights because
This is like the definition of an iPad kid. But don't worry, I got the same smart home Lutron in my house.
I think it's sweet. And so with a touch of a button, it will change the lighting. I don't touch light switches anymore.
Meanwhile, when you're not here, I'm stumbling around, feeling things, bonking myself on the metal. So that's why I've been really trying to put some round, soft furniture in here.
Yeah.
Because I'm just trying to touch that light switch.
Okay, Debbie Ryan, Josh Dunn. What do I think about the house? There are a lot of elements here, and this is definitely the borderline of eclectic. That being said, it's almost sensory overload. Now, if you're into this, if you grew up in the limelight, if you need this kind of wow in your life, I get it. That being said, I guess you can consider me more of the Kim Kardashian side. I need a neutral space where I can just be calm and zen. This house, there's music, I'm sure the animals, it's loud, the people, it's cool. I can't knock it too much. That being said, I think this one is getting a 9.1. If it rhymes, it's not a crime. Anyway, you guys, thank you for staying for another video. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, and if you need a broker and you're in the Los Angeles area, you know who to call. Have a good one.